Here I am. Why is it I can see the picture now, and every time I hit the record, I'm not ready. Anyways, um, alright, cool. Can't hear anything that's going on in the background. Yeah, I'm in my nervous mode at the moment. Try to hide my craziness. Sure. That's how I feel right now. So this is for my post on my blog. It's been a long time since I've done a video, and then now I'm using the webcam thing just to get this thing out, because I don't want to be writing for 5 hours and then go to sleep at 6 in the morning, which right now is at 2:52 a.m. East Coast. And I just wanted to just say that very shortly, because I did one that was like an hour and 30 minutes, and I'm not gonna go that far. Um, I just wanted to say about my feelings that happened last month, correlating with what I'm gonna be working out tonight, super quick, is Dark Zeta. And why Dark Zeta again? It's been 4 years since I started development, and I stopped officially in 2014, no, the end of 2013, because I started off with the animation, or supposedly the actual like promotion for the game, because once I was done with the demo of the HTML5, the people who are responsible for making the engine had peaked onto a new plateau with a update that pretty much made HTML5 version that I was using obsolete, and then a lot of the code base that I was working on that didn't really translate the other one. I mean, there are certain things I can change, of course, which I did. That's why I went in to try to change it. But what happened was that there was a conflict with the database that I was using for global high score keeping, and I was just like, okay, whatever. I just want to do a local now, right? Just focus on the local device platform, and then I'll have to think about the global um, database, whatever. So I pretty much I split my HTML5 stuff, which was already solid, to something that was still in the works and being constantly updated, and that sort of like send me off completely on this, just send me off completely away from the main focus, which was supposed to be HTML5. And um, I'm just coming off from depression from last month. Literally after I came back from Miami, I just fell into this like deep mental, I don't know, rut, because first I got on like my program, my unemployment happened when my program, when I got laid off, program complete, because it's a year style or school year style program that I was working as a volunteer with Home Inc. And then that ended. They gave me an option to extend it, but the extension was gonna happen way too soon, and I didn't have a break, and I was literally like, I had a sty in my eye, on both eyes, and the other side was getting there, and I was just like, oh no, I gotta chill off. And the styes are usually is eye infections. So I had a really bad eye infection for literally a whole month, and it didn't get out of the system until halfway through October. Now it's like not even there anymore. Like you can see, like it's supposed to be on this eye, and it's gone. See? So, yeah. So pretty much is a thing of the past now. And through that time, there was a really like became like really inclusive and disconnected, and I just didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to do anything. I literally closed myself away from stuff, which is rare, but it was because there was a lot of stuff hitting me memory wise as well, like certain things I needed to still confront, which I haven't. Put it aside. So when this ended, everything kind of came down on me like friggin' cold water, and it was hard to get up. My brother helped me up, and also a couple of friends, social media was able to actually get me off from, uh, thinking too dark, too deep about it, and kind of raised my spirits up, encouraged me to keep going what I was doing, and then I just ended up on the conclusion that I um, pretty much needed to go back to where I started and finish it, and that's Dark Zeta, which originally was Dark Ball. And thinking what happened to that, um, I've pretty much made the story since 1998. No, I began 97. Yeah, 97. And the fifth story, sadly and unfortunately, I didn't even notice, but I accidentally got tossed out. But when the basement was being cleaned out, and I had tossed out a bunch of rare relics and stuff that I didn't even look like. It was literally um, within a bag, portfolio, super heavy, but it didn't open it up because when I discovered where it was in the basement, it was covered by, it was an infestation of mice, so it was covered by mice feces. So automatically my reaction was toss it out, but I didn't come down with Clorox or anything like that to be able to further investigate what was within that bag till after the thought, after the action, after the whole thing. Think about it for a little bit. It hit me for a whole year. It hit me really hard that I lost all that stuff, and I'm still talking about it today because it still bugs me that I did that. It's a big piece of the story that I drew. So all comic book kind of style, drew it, and that was when I was in high school. I had that saved. There was literally about 200 pages tossed out. So kind of felt bad about that, but I still remember the story, which I'm gonna remake it, based off the reference from story 5, but I still have story 1 with me, which I go back and look at for reference, and I feel that I need to finish it because the whole thing's supposed to stop at story 6, and it's been on and off for years. and I'm just telling myself right now, not anymore. So that's why I'm restarted after a year hiatus of because 4 years for game development. 4 years. It started in November 2011, and so in November I decided I was gonna go into this to create a HTML5 collection, and this collection of games had to go through the story base of of Dark, using the tool that I was using for HTML5. And that they went a little bit too far on the aspect of the tool. The tool is easy to use, but it got so complex now, and the code base that I used to use before is now obsolete. So I used to use a GameMaker 8, and then there's a lot of GameMaker in betweens before Studio, which is a GameMaker HTML5, and then Studio has Studio 0, point 1. Now they have 1 and 1.5, and they're gonna go to 2 soon. And then recently they sold Yo-Yo Games sold their their stuff to another company, so now the company has, even though Yo-Yo is still working on it, Yo-Yo Games, it's not the same as like Mark or Mars kind of thing that it used to be. And the promised GameMaker 9 never really came about, because Studio became the suite to behold. And mind you, I put down more than $500 on that, because I got everything except Master. And I'm like, okay, put money down for that. So, but then the thing is, I can't find a partner or somebody else who are able to assist me or have a different point of view when it comes down to bugs. And as the time went on, from 2013 to 2014, all the way, what happened? Oh, yeah, that's right. There was an occurrence, financial occurrence that happened in 2014, that the whole family kind of had a crisis, and I couldn't really focus on development of the game anymore. And I was mostly just getting back on my 3D skills in 2014. And so, because it's been a long time since I touched Maya, and that was the first time I used. And within that time, November 2013 all the way to May, I was using Mudbox. I started up using ZBrush in March of 2014, and then I went off to do marvelous, beautiful things, using a combination between Mudbox and ZBrush. Because Mudbox, I usually use it to paint, because I have some really cool painting tools on it. And I don't know yet how to use ZBrush painting tools, but I now currently learn how to use the UV Master. It's a tool within the tool that I'm able to skin the character exactly, and space things exactly how to make it look nice, to make it look naturally how you expect within the object, without warping the actual texture onto the surface. And so that's why with all that stuff, I wanted to focus on 3D. And for such a long time, thinking about doing an 8-bit retro style game, I got tired of it. I just simply artistically got tired of it, because I'm the only one doing it. It's supposed to have been done. I didn't even expect 2 years out working on it. So now I'm gonna focus, then I was like, let me just focus on the future of it. That's why when I wanted to do the commercial, that was the instance where I was gonna use the clay figure, which is over there in the back. See that guy over there with the orange thing? Yeah, that's the clay figure. So that one is the original set that I had, right? And I built it literally um, the way I learned in school, which I did actual like clay model created by first having the armature. So I built the armature, and then I added the clay on top of the armature. But the armature in certain areas supposed to, like the fingers, supposed to have the weaker kind of like bending brass, a super weak one, where you can easily like bend it left or right, but it won't break. It just can put it there, so you can apply the mesh. So when you move it, little by little, it won't deform as much. So what happened is that the armature I have is the bendable steel version, the aluminum. Yeah, it's the aluminum, but it's like too tough. So literally, if I touch the actual model that I did, it will deform it. So that's why the idea initially was to make a clear animation promotion for my demo game is in its entirety. I even went out to tell somebody to make music for the 30 seconds commercial promotion that I was gonna do for the animation of that. Like, it was set up to do that like directly. Didn't successfully make it. Stopped. And the reason why I stopped is because I failed at getting the materials exactly that I needed to create the armature to move. So my mind was thinking like, let's use the cloud technology. Alright, let me do that. That's when, for the first time in a long while, mind you, I was working on my game on the laptop. That's in 2013. I said, let's bring out the desktop. Set up my desktop. Forgot that I needed to back up the hard drive. So immediately I got another hard drive. Reinstalled the hard drive. Did a whole kind of mess to get this thing operated again, operational again. And there was a glitch where the copy of the image that I had initially on the old hard drive didn't completely did the copy clearly with the Windows, because all ports were not functioning correctly. So my friend came up, he put in Linux, made an actual one-to-one copy of the partition, put it into the system, rebooted everything. Everything works exactly how it used to be, with all my tools working exactly how it used to be, and everything's running sweet, super fast with a hybrid hard drive, which is awesome. And then I started working on Maya, and I pushed on it. So I didn't really focus on the 8-bitness, so no more 8-bit for that for a while, because I literally was tired. It was 8-bit for 2 years straight, looking at the bugs, looking at these things, and I got tired of it. Just got tired of it. And the biggest moment that shocked me beyond the stuff that I was working on was the event that happened in May 2013, which on my birthday my father had a stroke. So when that happened, just literally like a day before, because he was out to Texas, and he came back that night of my birthday, like what was it, after midnight, and just a day before I have finished the demo, and I told everybody, look at the demo, look what I did, on, it's kind of celebration on my own birthday. I was just like, look everybody, this is what I've done, and just to mark the occasion, boom, as the year prior before, I had already a demo previously, which was obsolete, so I instead put a brand new one, 2013, now it's old now, it's obsolete now, where it just like coincided with my father having a stroke, which I didn't know until after the day that happened. Nobody told me he was in a hospital. And we live in the same house. This is what happens over here. Nobody tells me anything. Anyways, that shocked me to the core. And and then from there on, I literally just posted on my Google Plus page that I'm gonna, be taking a break away from developing Dark, even though little by little I was going back into it, little by little, getting the bugs out, but the bugs got so numerous that the quality of the game suffered so much every time I added something new. It just, messed up on the other side. I yanked out the database, which was a big thing, and then I tried to add on the Android the save feature. Not the save feature for like the adventure, but more like the high score aspect, and that broke the whole entire game. So every time you lose and you input your name and you hit OK, it crashes the software out of it's out to the OS. And that frustrated because I asked for help on the forums and group and everything to see how I can go about to fix that, and nobody came around to help me out to do that on the Android. And I got really sad and frustrated. I got so close. I thought for a moment there I fixed it, but I didn't. The bug just went somewhere else and broke the game somewhere else. So that was like the point where I said no more. I'm not gonna do this anymore. And that's why it's been kept there. I went back to it to see what's going on with the engine, and it's leaps and beyond its original point that I left it. When I updated it, all the stuff that I had previously broke even more. And I remember I haven't looked at the code for like months. So that was just telling me like, don't even try to finish it. I was just like, oh my gosh. So I started doing 3D stuff and looking into other engines, because it was just like really, it was really terrible. So all the stuff that I have in my darkzeta.com site is literally broken in pieces. And when I say in pieces, it's like you got the fragments of the graphics, and you got fragments of the code, and the code literally not reacting the way it's supposed to. And then, and I don't got nobody at all to look at it. Nobody who's really pro, who's really more in depth into it, to teach me a lesson about it. Because most of these things I learn in tutorials, and I went off my way to get to go advance into it, apply the things that I want to it. I got as far as I could, but when it comes down to it, quality wise it's shit, so I've never released it. And I'm looking into Unity because there are a lot more locals who are professional in Unity and is used mostly in the industry now than Game Maker. Game Maker is literally just something that costs a lot of money for no reason. Before it used to be just simply $10, which is Game Maker 8. Now it's just ridiculous. Um, and not that many people know it. Even though you can go to the forums and learn a couple of things, which that's how far I got. Not that many people are willing to help you or assist you if you really have something really unique in there. Like I posted a couple of times in the forums, and not that many people, only like two of them, and one of them were directly working at Yo-Yo Games, which is a really cool guy. It's just that he has his hands full to do his own thing, and I never really could get a grasp of Game Maker Advance, Game Maker Studio in the most advanced way because of that issue. So I let that go for a year, and the only thing now I'm doing is I went into Unity. I went to go through the tutorials, learn a couple of things, applied it, went to forums that literally people come out of the blue to help me with it. I'm not saying that the one is better than the other. I'm just saying that the community of Game Maker is way to diffuse and very rare that you get a chance for somebody to literally come in and try to help you out for something, just help you out. While Unity, all of a sudden, everybody and their grandma knows it. And even the littlest things, you can find data in, stuff that is very common. They can be reapplied into the stuff that I'm working on. Hell, the asset store is actually much more organized to do these things more than the Game Maker asset store, which they recently released, where even though the people who made the examples previously, they are ready for the feedback. It just feels so strange when you buy things from the asset store and import it into the suite. It just feels strange. Like everything is there and it's fine, but there's a lot of things now that's locked. So if I don't prove it's me, or with the code, it blocks it as an extension, the supposed extension part of the Game Maker. Well, that's non-existent in Unity. Unity, just open everything or anything and you have no troubleshooting problems at all with that aspect. I don't know, but the problem about Unity is that it's so open. The editor is so open, you don't even know where to start. Versus in Game Maker, you can just drop into, create a room, drop an object, and go into the properties of the object, and immediately have something running in like 2 seconds. And so that's what I love about Game Maker, mostly with the usability that's super quick versus Unity. With Unity, you just got a crowd of people, literally thousands upon thousands of people just know that, and every portion of the freaking suite, and it is because it's free, which it doesn't make any sense when it comes down to the Game Maker. I don't know about now today if it is free out, but I know I paid a pretty penny for those extensions for the mods, the modular stuff, for Android modular, the HTML5 modular, the Linux modular, the iOS modular, which is bullshit because Apple is just terrible when it comes down to that. Like, they did try to keep it within the suite and work inside the OS so that you'd be able to do exactly like you do it in Windows. For Android, it's just Apple. That's Apple being stupid with even their developers who actually are promoting that stuff. I couldn't even use Game Maker in my school as an example because they use Macs. And it's not because of Game Maker's or Yo-Yo Games issue. Is because of Apple themselves blocks anybody to do anything remotely progressive when it comes down to that, because that opens up the remember everybody keeps saying, well, Apple doesn't have viruses. That whole defense about that happens to be at its root in that area, where that's why it's not progressive. The OS for developers that want to do something or want to use the actual computers to make stuff like software, you really need to have a license straight from Apple to do all that stuff within their own suite versus Microsoft and Windows. You don't do that. You don't need that shit. You know, that stuff. That's the reason why I pick Windows over OS X. And you just can't, like, that's why I couldn't do anything in school. So I had to literally, for this year, 2015, pick up Unity and just keep learning Unity and the basics. And it was hard, but I got it going. And I taught the kids at the process of me teaching myself how to use it. I taught few of the kids there that were interested in game art and design, and I just showed them how to do it. And now there's one kid who's autistic, mind you, got that thing and is flying, doing stuff I didn't even discover how to do yet. And this is why I wish I was in their shoes today. I wish I was that young and able to do that. With that, being that young, me being 34 at the moment, just like that is my limitation. Because being a kid, again, having to be able to explore on that aspect, whew, space is the only limit. You can do everything now with that. So that's why I was just thinking, like, if that student got that far to do that, I could do it too. I mean, I got him going. What's up? I could do this, but I need to have that shock and awe value. So I worked with them. This is why I was depressed. It's because I left them. I left them out. I was just like, I wanted to see their progress. I wanted to see how far they went with the tools. I wanted to see how far they went with their animation. Business got in the way of things. Money. Survival. What I'm doing right now, absolutely nothing. Because of policy. Stupid, ratchet policies. I would have been over there right now if it wasn't for the policy. And so I'm like, and that's part of my depression. I love these kids in English high school. It was just so freaking awesome in a technology room to see them expand their mind, get them to see other things that they are able to do these things. And I mean, if they get to my age, they'll be fucking boss. If they keep at it, of course. Life happens, and they can, you know, go another direction. And that's why I'm like, damn. I feel useless, alone, loneliness. Outside of it, that's why I wish I was at the computer clubhouse. Like I could just expand with all the kids in the clubhouse right now, with the space of knowledge that I have to give back to the community. But I'm not looked at as a key successful individual because I haven't really shown or, you know, proved myself yet in their eyes. But just like Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, everybody has the potential to be something that the other person could never expect that individual to shine that bright, regardless of actually penetrating mainstream. And I'm not for mainstream. I ain't going mainstream. I'm on my own completely, and the student loans on my back, with everything on my back, with the debt, with you know, with shit that I owe, which I have absolutely zero. Well, you can say I got $50 in the bank right now. I got nothing. I'm flatline right now at this time. And the reason why I tell the world about this is because I'm at my lowest. But I woke up today, yesterday or whatever, and I feel that I can turn it around. And it's more because I have my brother, I got you know, I got Fran, I got Russell, I got Anna, I got Sai, I got Diego, I got Blue, I got Anna, I got Tael. She's awesome, by the way. I call her by the Twitter. It's just these people help me get up by example, and they show it all the time. Their strengths. They're human, so they have weaknesses as well. But they show me how strong they are. You know, and that's why I really feel fortunate to have met these people, to be there, even if they're not even there at all. Like, they just happen to float around in social media, and it just happens. They want to talk, they want to say something. They want to, and they give data, information, and where I recover from the misinformation or the corruption that happens in my mind with thoughts that are just there to push me down, because I'm very hard on myself. And it's always going to happen. It's always going to be there. It's never going to leave. And even though I'm saying it now with a little bit more energy, enthusiastically, I will have my days where I just blank out, completely disappear, with those thoughts attacking me at night and in the morning and all day. And it just progressively gets stranger every year. As I've gone older, it's just gotten worse, but in a very sneaky way. Like, I can't even describe it. It just in a very sneaky way, it just pops out of nowhere. And it's hard to literally slap it out of the way without anybody else coming in and give me a support push onto it. Thank goodness I'm not on psych drugs, because that would have been it right there. I heard really terrible, stories about taking pills, which just pretty much puts you in a deeper hole. So I've, in all, sustained this energy, all of a sudden shine, because of people that care, and I really give all my thanks to all of them, and whoever does, all the time. And I know there are others who are, just as wonderful. And that's the thing. Like, the world is open with many beautiful people, and there are also people who are terrible. You're always gonna have both sides of the coin. You're always gonna have the darkness, and you're always gonna have the light. And finding the balance and accepting both the whole of the shine of the light and the darkness, as creates the complete face of the self, of the being. That's where pretty much one can get to be in reality, to do things, to do what they will, by having the matchup of both light and darkness, never one or the other. And it's always at extremes that happens to tip the balance over and create chaos. And that's why the order within chaos kind of works itself out, and you always need to have this disruption for that change to happen. And my disruption for the month and a half that I was completely gone, really depressed, I got people like my brother who are able to come out and help me therapeutically, just wake me up and get me to go hang out with them. Just little things always counts, and I'm fortunate to have that, because there are moments that that I don't have that. So just to conclude this video, now it's been 43 minutes. There's a lot more information that I would have written down, because if I was gonna write it down, I was gonna be like, nope. So because it is 3:35, I'm gonna start on my shit, and yeah. So thank you for listening if you got this far. Sorry for my awkwardness, because I rarely do this video stuff, and then the video quality sucks like all hell, and there's no music in the background. This is unedited, uncut bullshit from my mind. So thank you, and I'll see you later. Well, you see me later.